Today's story is called Sacrifice for Luck, a desperate man's deal with the devil. John had always been a desperate man. He had struggled his entire life to make ends meet and provide for his family. He had always been envious of those who seemed to have all the luck in the world, while he was stuck in a never-ending cycle of poverty and misfortune. One day, he stumbled upon an old book in a forgotten corner of his local library. The book was ancient and bound in worn leather, with strange symbols etched into its cover. As he began to read, he discovered that the book contained a powerful spell that would grant him the luck he had always desired. The only catch was that the spell required a sacrifice in exchange for the luck it bestowed. Without hesitation, John began to recite the spell, determined to do whatever it took to change his luck. As he finished the incantation, a shadowy figure appeared before him. The figure introduced himself as the devil and explained that the spell John had just recited was a contract, binding him to the devil in exchange for luck. John's luck began to change almost immediately. He won the lottery, found a high-paying job, and his financial struggles finally came to an end. He was able to move his family into a bigger and better house, buy them all the luxuries they never had before and provide for them in ways he never thought possible. He felt a sense of satisfaction and contentment that he had never felt before. But as his luck improved, the luck of his family began to deteriorate. His youngest son, Timmy, was involved in a terrible accident. It was a hot summer day and Timmy was playing with his friends at the park, when he climbed up the monkey bars, lost his footing and fell to the ground. He hit his head hard and was rushed to the hospital. Despite all their efforts, the doctors couldn't save him and he died. John was devastated. He felt like his world had come crashing down. He couldn't shake the feeling that his son's death was his fault. He couldn't understand why this had happened to him and his family. He couldn't stop blaming himself for making the deal with the devil and for sacrificing his son's life for his own gain. He was filled with guilt and remorse and felt like he didn't deserve the luck he had. He couldn't bring himself to enjoy the luxuries he had gained. All he could think about was Timmy and how he would never see him again. He became distant and withdrawn, unable to cope with the loss of his son. His wife and other children noticed the change in him and tried to comfort him, but nothing seemed to work. He was consumed by grief and the weight of his guilt. He was haunted by the memory of Timmy and the thought that his own selfish desires had led to his son's death. As the years passed, John's father began to suffer from a serious illness. Despite all the medical treatments, his father's condition continued to deteriorate. John knew that he had to do something to save his father, even if it meant sacrificing his own life. With a heavy heart, John turned to the devil and begged him to save his father's life. The devil agreed, but there was a catch. In exchange for saving his father, John would have to sacrifice his own life. John knew that the devil had tricked him, but he also knew that his father's life was worth more than his own. John made the sacrifice and his father was miraculously cured. But as he lay dying, John realized that his luck had been nothing more than an illusion. The devil had never truly granted him luck, only taken advantage of his desperation and used him for his own gain. In the end, John had lost everything, including his own life, in exchange for a false promise of luck. From that day on, the village where John lived was said to be cursed. Many people reported strange and terrifying occurrences happening around the village. Some even claimed that they could see the spirit of John wandering around, still bound to the devil and unable to find peace. The moral of the story is that, sometimes, the things we desire the most can lead us down a dangerous path. We must be careful what we wish for, and remember that true luck comes from hard work, determination, and taking responsibility for our own lives. The end.